So the oral presentation, while we set the stage for our next speaker, I'm going to introduce the first one, Francisco Castilla. He's a researcher who uniquely combines high-level data intelligence with a deep, lifelong connection to the field, with a PhD and extraordinary award for his doctoral work. He has co-authored many papers and holds several patents in agriculture mechanization. His expertise spans from 3D computer vision. Okay, sorry.
Olive harvesting. Olive
okay,
pruning.
Well, he knows better than me. So, okay, Francisco, if you are prepared, is ready his presentation? Okay, the pointer is here.
Here? Okay, perfect. Good morning. I'm going to present a communication about olive 3D modeling. Okay, using images, RGB images or RGB depth images. This project is this work is involved into a project, an Erasmus Plus project, in which we are working with. It doesn't work.
Point there.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Many people are involved in this work. Okay, I thank their collaboration, and there are some institutions involved in these projects. Mainly the leader of the project was the International Agricultural Training Center of Turkey. And we are also participating from University of Córdoba, University Miguel Hernandez of Elche, University of Seville, and University of Athens, which are not involved in this work. Okay. We are going to present fastly about the project. We are working on olives. Olives is my main expertise area. What we need to understand when we approach olives is that there are a lot of very different olive orchard categories depending on the olive spacing, olive tree architecture, considering that we have, for example, traditional olive orchards, mechanizable and non-suitable for mechanization. And also we have intensive orchards or hedgerow super high density orchards with an increasing surface in the last years. The olive orchards distribution in Spain is mainly concentrated in the south and southeast part of the country, but it is spread along the Mediterranean basin. We also have to consider that when we are talking about traditional olive orchards, that traditional olive orchard can mean really different olive structure and orchard structure depending on the country. Even within one country, for example in Spain, we have really huge differences between traditional olive orchards for olive oil and traditional olive orchards. Okay, different olive structure could be seen in this slide, in which we can see the main of them will be the intensive olive orchard, usually base-shaped, hedgerow orchards prepared for harvesting using straddle harvester, and multi-trunk traditional olive orchards, which are the main type producing, by the way, now in South Spain, not in other countries as we previously seen. What we did in this work, okay, was to select some trees, Arbequina and Arbosana cultivars, This is required by the project leader. In that case, we use the Rabanales experimental farm and the different varieties that we have in this farm. Using the two selected varieties. We took different photographs around the tree in different angles. We tried to do it with 18 photographs, but the quality of the images is improved using 24 photographs around the trees, distributed around the trees. The images could be taken using a common mobile phone camera or using our RGBD depth camera, which give us the RGBD image and even the depth image of the olive. This is a setting of the images, places in which we took an image, distributing around the tree, measuring it around the tree trunk, looking for the tree trunk center. And one question is that taking these photos in cloudy days is much more better for photograph quality than using sunny days. The team which is involved in this work is a large crew, and only some of them are shown in this photograph. Okay, and the last objective was to look for the branch structure, which is really difficult because olives have during the whole year the leaves, and it's really difficult to see the correct tree structure and branch structure. Okay, the results that we get, this is preliminary results. We have here from one tree, in that case, Arbosana cultivar, 24 captures in the different angles of the tree, and we can mount them to get the 3D dimensions of the tree, in which we compare manual dimensions with the 3D model dimensions. The error that we get is sometimes a little bit big, but the problem is that maybe manual measurements will be less accurate than digital images measurements, because we take it with a pole and taking it visually, standing in the front of the tree. Okay, this is the 3D structure of this tree. We always use a point in the trunk as the origin of the images of all the whole 3D volume of the tree, and it is possible to measure different features of this tree. Mainly about biomass, about canopy volume, and these features would be really useful for modeling many others olive labors, such as phytosanitary treatments or olive harvesting and shaking transmission along these branches. Okay, so we can see the video. This is the movement of the 3D model of the tree. We need to improve some things about that. And this is the images, two images of this tree, looking not a thermal image in your left side, but a depth image in the left side, and RGBD, not high quality, but enough to build the model in the right side. Okay. And conclusions of these works is that we have a huge potential about 3D modeling of olive trees for many different labors in these trees. There is a long trip to do it with these preliminary results within the project. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Francisco, to fit the time. Take seat if you want. The next speaker is Wang. She is a postdoctoral research fellow from Melbourne University, carrying out research at Quanta Lab, so close from here. She holds a PhD in remote sensing and fluorescence in precision agriculture. Her research interests revolve around some industry chlorophyll fluorescence, biotic and abiotic stress detection in crop and fruit trees, different spatial scale, from airborne to UAV and proximal sensing. So, Wang, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That's great, but it's not my presentation, I would say.
Okay.
Well, I only have 2 minutes. I hope this time is not counted, okay? Thank you. So, yes, we are trying to understand the water stress on the almond orchard. Okay, yes, that's, no.
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 The third round, please. No. The last one. Technology sometimes is wrong.
Yeah, I hope I remember all the contents. Now I can reset that. So I think I should talk about something now. Yes, just like Pablo suggested, we can not only rely on the AI, but we should understand should understand and explain the result from AI models. So this is the case I'm going to show you. So.
No, porque yo esta mañana lo
Yeah. Oh, great. It's this one. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. So, yes, we are talking about machine learning driving analysis of stage-dependent sensitivity of plant functional traits to water stress effect dynamics in almond chart because we want to understand water stress better.
Not a problem.
Yeah, great. So, the plant's response to water stress are so complex. It including the invisible physiological changes in transpiration and photosynthesis, as well as the variable changes in canopy structure and the leaf pigment. So remote sensing, we know, has been widely used to detect the bare physical changes in, for example, canopy structure and leaf pigment. But at this time, it might be late because crop or almonds, crop and quality and yield has been already affected. Luckily, with the advancing remote sensing technique and the AI, we now can monitor changes in transpiration and photosynthesis. Yeah, the first one would be thermal remote sensing. Plant the first response to water stress is to close its stomata to prevent more water loss. As a result, transpiration is reduced. So this increasing leaf and canopy temperature. So canopy temperature and seed crop water stress index, CWSI, derived from thermal remote sensing. It has been a well-established method for water stress detection. But what about photosynthesis? Well, we have another indicator for the photosynthetic changes detection under water stress. That is chlorophyll fluorescence. When the leaf observes sunlight, it usually has three pathways. The energy dissipation. One of them is chlorophyll fluorescence. So it is a byproduct of photosynthesis. We can use it to indicate the photosynthetic functioning. Sun-induced chlorophyll fluorescence safe is a signal. It can be detected by remote sensing technique. It's basically a signal, say the green line, a signal added to the upwelling radiance, which can be detected by the sensor. We use safe at two regions. At oxygen A in the far right region and oxygen B at the red region to indicate photosynthesis. Well, we know stress can cause the plant response really sensitive to stage and also the severity, as the fluorescence detecting water stress is kind of state of art and under investigation. So we want to first know whether safe has the similar or more sensitivity than CWSI in tracking the physiological changes induced by the water stress. At different stress levels, particularly at mild and recovery stage, compared with the typical high-level water stress. And we also want to know the useful functional traits across different stress levels because we want to define or have a better water stress monitoring approach. For example, we want to use either thermal or we need to use thermal and other hyperspectral cameras. By looking at these plant traits. Okay, so to achieve these research goals, we conducted the field campaigns or airborne campaigns within the experimental site of almond. Sorry, I cannot point it because it's a bit complex now. Yes. So this almond study set has one well-watered block, one water-stressed block. Each block has 16 plots. We collected data at 3 stress levels, like we said before, a mild stress, high-level stress, as well as the recovery. We flew 3 sensors together for the field campaign. The first one is thermal, second one is the sub-nanometer, which has a very high spectral resolution, is 0.2 nanometer. And the third one is what we use normally, and it is a standard narrowband hyperspectral imagery. So the flat attitude here, is the time left?
No, it's fine. 4 minutes
okay.
for you.
Yes, it was 350 meters above the ground. I cannot escape this figure or slide, but this is an example of the data that we collected over the almond site at the high-level stress, thermal hyperspectral imagery. And this is an example of the spectral signature of a pure tree crown from the sub-nanometer imagery as well as the standard narrowband imagery. This is a trait that we use to understand the water stress at different stress levels. Please have a quick look because I'm in short of time. For the leaf, bear chemical and cannabis structural traits, we inverted them from narrowband reflectance, by fitting the reflectance to a radiative transformer model scope. So it can, as a result, give us the reliable plant traits, including leaf area index, chlorophyll content, anthocyanin pigment. So together with SAFE and the CWSI, now we put them in random forests so we can know their importance to the model at the different water stress stages. Then we have a better understanding of plant response by considering physiological and bare physical aspects. Here are the results. And at the mild stress, we see only CWSI and the fluorescence. They show significant difference between well-watered and the water-stressed blocks. What does that mean? Means transpiration and the photosynthesis were impacted already at that mild stress, but it did not impact the other leaf, bear chemical, or the cannabis structural traits yet. At high-level water stress, we could see CWSI and SAFE, they still show significant difference that expected. Transpiration and photosynthesis were expected at this stage, while other inverted plant traits also showed significant difference. This means the water stress at this level already giving the visible, simple terms, on almond crop. This one, yeah. On the recovery stage, we expect transpiration and photosynthesis all recover. However, we see CWSI did not show significant difference anymore, but SAFE still has the significant difference between two blocks. So transpiration was restored after rehydration at the recovery stage, but photosynthesis was still set back. So that means our irrigation strategy was not the perfect one. The crop quality and yield was already affected. This is also proved by the significant difference in other plant traits, including structural traits, for example, the LAI. And how AI help us to understand this? Yes, we have the trait importance at different water stress levels, at the mild stress level, SAFE and say that WSI, they were dominating the importance. Well, the CWSI was the most important one. Then at high level water stress, it is almost all plant traits were contributing to the model and didn't find water-stressed almond from the well-watered almond traits. Here, CWSI was still the #1 trait. However, on the recovery stage, CWSI was not the most powerful one. Instead, SAFE was the #1. So that means we need to have the specific features or traits for different water stress stages. Okay, conclusion. We conclude water stress detection and irrigation decision rules are stage dependent. thermal indices are more informative at mild stress and high-level stress. Well safe is a very strong signal to detect the water stress dynamics at different stress levels. So for the wearable pigmental and the structural changes, they are more useful at the midterm or long-term water stress as well as the recovery stages. So yes, the AI-driven model can help us identify the very useful, crucial stage-specific trees for better irrigation strategy. Thank you. I would also like to thank all the organizations.
Thank you very much, Wang, and thank you for your passion with technology. Now, we move so quickly for our last speaker, Estrella Alcalá, a research at International Chair in Artificial Intelligence and Agriculture at the University of Córdoba. Her work focused on the development of AI-based tools for the agri-food sector, with a particular interest in predictive modeling and weather-informed decision support. So, Estrella, the floor is yours. Presentación. Momento. Espérate. No, espera, ahora.
The agri-food sector is a playground for artificial intelligence because in this sector, we work with a complex network of connected variables. Good morning, everyone. Let me briefly introduce myself. As Javier said, my name is Estrella Alcalá. I'm a researcher at the International Chair of Artificial Intelligence and Agriculture at the University of Cordoba, where we develop several solutions that apply artificial intelligence to agriculture in order to address the real challenges of the agri-food sector. And one of the areas we are working on is weather predictions, their local accuracy, and how can we use AI to improve that local accuracy of the weather predictions, the weather forecast. Every day, farmers, technicians, advisors make decisions that depend directly or indirectly on weather conditions. But before talking about weather and climate, I would like to talk about to set the meteorology in a broader agri-food context. So the first step in our research was to analyze how meteorology is studied in connection with the agri-food sector. We analyzed more than 200,000 research articles published over the last 35 years. We use a technique, an AI-based topic modeling approach, with the traditional methods that could be impossible. And what we found out is that meteorology is not a narrow or isolated topic. It's connected to biophysical, productive, and management domains all across the agri-food sector. We also analyze the methodologies that are being applied to improve the weather information that we have. And the one that we choose to our research is the downscaling. We'll talk about it later. As the World Meteorological Organization states, weather forecasts depend on continuous access to global observation,
but there are still geographical gaps that reduce the forecast accuracy. Or as Celeste Saulo said, without data, there is no forecast. So what happens if some places has less observational support than others? What if cities have better observations than rural areas? Could that mean that we are having weaker forecast skill in rural context? Let's see. In our research, we are focusing on the European Center for Medium and Medium Range Weather Forecast. This is one of the best weather forecasting centers worldwide, and their forecasts are widely used. So, but still, the global weather centers and the weather forecast still have geographical gaps at the local level, depending on several conditions, like the observing infrastructure, the kind and quality of data that we have, also the data assimilation capabilities of the model itself, or the orography of the terrain. And that's why it's so important to analyze the weather forecast skill at the local level. Let's see some examples that we are working on. Here we can see an example of Andalusia, where we have more than 229 weather stations. That it's a really complete network that helps us to evaluate and have better forecast decisions with this global model. But still, as you can see, they are not unequally distributed. There is an heterogeneous placement all of these weather stations. Talking about another example, we are also analyzing the bias of these forecast predictions. As you can see, we analyze both the positive and the negative bias of the forecast, and there is a spatially heterogeneous forecast, both in sign and in magnitude. But we wanted to go one step further. We wanted to analyze also the socioeconomic aspect that affect those forecast skill of the model. Here we can see that we analyze the bias of the model together with the density of population in each region of Andalusia. And since our rural and urban areas don't have the same observational support, we aim to analyze also more socioeconomic aspect, not only the density of population, but also the GDP and the distance to urban centers. And once we verify the forecast performance, and once we explain why some rural areas are more exposed than others, the next question was, what can we do about it? So we, in this research, we applied a downscaling methodology that combines global forecast data with local station observations. That information, together with other relevant local features, were used to train a machine learning model. The objective was to learn the systematic local error of the forecast, correct it, and then have better forecast for those local conditions that represent the reality of the local areas. Talking about one of the examples that we have, here we can see the observational maximum temperature in the black line. Then the ECMWF forecast is the blue line, and our AI-enhanced forecast is the red one. So as you can see, for the maximum temperature forecast at a 5-day lead time, our model reduces the mean absolute error from 9 to 2 degrees. Talking about another example, following the same color structure, but in this case, we analyze only 1 day inside a heat wave. In this case, the black star is the observed value. Our model is the red line, and the ECMWF forecast, the blue one. And all the dots represent the exact values of the forecast for several days in advance. As you can see, the raw ECMWF forecast underestimates the event in every single day. But our model stays much closer to the original one, to the observed value that we have. To finalize, I would say that our goal is not just to get better forecast, but to help farmers, advisors, and technicians to make better decisions. So, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Estrella. With this presentation, next sheet, please. We conclude this first session. So I want to thank the three speakers for your presentation, very nice. So now we have reached out the coffee break. Let's join back at 12 o'clock, okay? Thank you very much. Una foto.